In today's episode of Catcha Bloom podcast, I am going to address something that most of us have experienced, and that is to be laughed at as a child. Not with, but at. And I've seen it so many times. I've been teaching kids, teenagers, young adults, and elderly people, and we all get laughed at sometimes. And some laughs might be just, quite innocent. They didn't mean to laugh at you. It was just funny in the moment for the people watching you from the outside. And other times, maybe they laugh at you because they want you to slow down, maybe. And maybe they want you to not trigger their emotions, or they want you to be smaller so that they can feel more comfortable. And there are many types of laughs, right? Maybe this has happened to you, and what your nervous system took a note of is that this is not safe. I don't feel safe doing this. Let's talk about this. Welcome to today's episode. Welcome. You're listening to Catcha Bloom. It's a space for conversations about life, voice, and becoming. Before we begin, let's arrive together. Breathe slowly in through your nose and let the breath fall gently out. You're here now. I once met a man. He was an adult when I met him. But he told me that when he sang, he was in fourth grade and he sang at a school show. And then people laughed at him. His family laughed at him afterwards. They thought it was so funny that he was all into the music and he had a presence on stage. And I think his nervous system, his mind, saw this as a sign of his family being not being comfortable with him being so present in a show, in a performance. So he never sang again, ever. Imagine that. And the man was like 35 years old when I met him. And this was more than 25 years ago. About 25 years he had not sang anything, only whistles. He would whistle to the songs on radio. He would whistle all the time because he loves music. But he did not dare to ever give a performance again. And that's only because his family was not comfortable doing it themselves. And they were kind of embarrassed. I guess their inner child got embarrassed when they saw him giving the performance of his life. And so many adults carry this without even realizing it, being laughed at, not with, but at. Maybe it happened when you were singing once. Maybe you were dancing. Maybe you were just being silly, being excited, just being completely yourself. And someone laughed. Could be a sibling, a classmate, a parent, a teacher, a grandfather. And maybe they didn't even mean to harm you. And maybe they did. But something happened inside of you. That is the important part. What happened inside of you? Yes, your nervous system took notes. It learned this is not safe. So, we don't even remember the event itself. Usually we don't even know. We just carry these memories around. What we remember is the feeling, the hesitation, and the self-consciousness that arise, the need to monitor ourselves, the feeling that we somehow are too much or not enough. And I meet this all the time in my work. That's how I know so many stories. That's how I know people, right? Because they come to me. I'm a voice teacher and I'm also a coach, a vocal coach, and I help them to strengthen their identity so that they can dare to carry their need to perform, their need to sing. Like I say, maybe 2% of all people on this earth truly want to perform. Not everybody does, right? And I think it's a gift. If you love singing, it's a gift to the world. But so many of us carry these memories and this feeling of the need to monitor ourselves, because if not, people around us get uncomfortable. So, adults who desperately want to express themselves, but every time they try, something pulls the handbrake, right? I've been there and I'm still there. Often when I'm in the studio to record my Catcha Bloom songs, I can feel the handbrake. And the problem isn't lack of talent, it's protection. It's a younger version of ourselves that is still trying to stay safe. And sometimes people think that healing means becoming someone else. And I don't see it that way. I think healing is often remembering who you were before you got scared, before you started shrinking, before you learned to edit yourself. The truth is that your joy was never the problem. Your excitement was never the problem. And your voice was never the problem. Somebody else's reaction became the problem. Can you see? Can you feel the difference? I find it very easy to make other people uncomfortable. It's so easy. I can just talk about something that's everyday life for people, like a booger in the nose, or us girls having menstruation. Like, it's so easy to make other people uncomfortable. And to be honest, I don't get it. I've been working on myself. I've been on so many stages now on performing music and just owning the lyrics, the message in the different genres, you know. I'm a performer, so I've worked on being comfortable with being a human being, right? Because we all are. And if we study psychology just for a tiny, like go a bit beneath the surface into maybe a couple of layers into how we human people, how we think, we are all adjusting to the bigger flock, right, around us. And when we grow up, we need to be accepted, and we need the adults around us to take care of us, maybe elderly siblings, whoever. So we need acceptance, and we need to feel safe in the environment that we grow up in. But then, as we grow and evolve as human beings and we become adults, we do have desires, and we do have different DNAs and different roles to play in our lives, and we are different parts of the society. And I think it's really, really important for your identity, for your self-worth, for your bravery, and your, what's it called? It's called conviction of who you are and how you are allowed. You need to be convinced that you are allowed to evolve into the human being that you're supposed to be. Like Aristotle said, every human being is like a seed just wanting to become who they're supposed to be. Like a seed in an apple becomes an apple tree, right? It's just programmed into your DNA in your body. And we are all different. We don't know this when we grow up. But as adults, we can learn to accept ourselves and give ourselves the space that the people we grew up with couldn't. Do you understand where I'm getting at? Like, you need to separate yourself from the terms you were raised up in. You understand? This is so important. And I teach all of my vocal students this. And it takes some time to master, and we need to address this topic in all kinds of situations and angles, because this is programmed so deep into our mind and our way of thinking that it just takes a little time. But I have seen so many adults bloom. That's why I'm called Catcha Bloom, because I help people bloom. That's one of my life missions, actually. And my journey myself, I've been working on my own blooming for more than a decade, for so long. So I think healing is often remembering who you were before you got scared, before you started shrinking, before you learned to edit yourself, right? So your joy was never the problem. Someone else's reaction became the problem, right? So maybe today is a good day to separate the two. You are allowed to sing. You are allowed to laugh loudly. You're allowed to dance badly, and you're allowed to take up space. And most importantly, you're allowed to be seen. You are allowed to say no, and you're allowed to be a dumbass who said yes and then did a mistake. Because we all do. That's how we learn. Are you with me? I heard Jacob Collier say that a big difference between us real human beings who are alive in this body, our vessel, which is we are children of this planet. We need water, we need sunlight, we need air, right? And we need to grow. And then we have artificial intelligence, AI. And the biggest difference is that we, human beings, we can take turns that are completely illogical. And we can make choices that are not good for us. Like, it's not reasonable that we would want to do that. And still, we do things that are not good for us. And the answer to why we are so unpredictable, because AI is very predictable. AI is logic and rational all the time, right? But we who are here, who are owning the moment, it's our moment, we can seize the day and we can choose to do something good or bad. And sometimes when I have done a mistake, I go openly in to the situation that I know can become a problem. And I still do it because that's how I learn things. And that's how I know if I can handle a hard situation or not, right? I'm alive. I need to live. I often say that life is not a paracet. What's it called in English? If you have a headache, you can take a pill that takes the headache away, like the softer ones that you can buy in food stores. Paracet or e-books in Norwegian. What's it called? Advil, I think it's called in American. A painkiller, like a light painkiller. Life is not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be a constant in the same flow. We are supposed to go up and down and then see a new horizon and new desires show up. And then we evolve as human beings. And I think that's the only reason to be here, that we mirror each other and we evolve. So if you were laughed at as a child, I want you to be brave. Action first, and then the conviction comes. You will find confidence in doing action. Set the boundaries. Be honest to that person that you always make yourself smaller to. Begin today. Just take one step. And then accept that maybe the people who laughed at you were just embarrassed because they could never have done what you did. They didn't know how to be themselves, silly, truly authentic in the moment. Bars. Maybe you bursted in to the living room in just your underwear, dancing, pretending to be, Ariana Grande or something. Maybe you were just being you, and they were just laughing because they didn't know how to do what you did. So many laughs are not meant to hurt you, and still they do, but not anymore. You're all grown up now, and you can evolve, you can be brave, and you can start giving yourself the acceptance and truly be who you are meant to be. The world needs you. You're a part of the rainbow, A rainbow is not perfect without all the colors in it. And you're one of the colors. So I want you to trust yourself. I am at the end of the episode, and I really want you to reflect on 3 questions, and then I'm going to give you the week challenge, okay? Are you ready for 3 good questions? And I want you to just accept the answer that arises within you, okay? Just follow your intuition. I could say it in that way too. Just trust whatever comes first. Okay, question number 1. Can you remember a moment when you felt embarrassed or that people were laughing at you? Okay, just let the answer arise in you. Question number 2. What did you stop doing after that experience? What did you stop doing? What kind of died in you? What did the world miss? What are we not seeing anymore? Question number 3, the last question. If that version of me, the child, the teenager, the young adult, whoever it was, if that kid was in front of me now, what would I say to him or her? What would you say to that child that you carry within you? The child that was embarrassed, the kid that people laughed at. You can say it, it's okay. You're safe here. Good. You can also rewind this episode and go through the questions again, okay? So, the week challenge is this. Reclaim one joy. You're going to reclaim something that you loved as a kid. Maybe to sing, maybe dancing, maybe you loved crafting, like drawing or something. Maybe you loved to wear costumes and just act out different characters. Maybe you made stories. Did you like to build things like Lego or cars or whatever, just building things? Or maybe you were that person who would always laugh really loudly, so much that everybody would notice. The challenge is, this week, I want you to spend 5 minutes doing just that. Not to improve your skill, not to give a presentation. You don't have to show it to anybody. Just to remind your body that, true joy for you is still allowed. Now go out there and make yourself a good day. I'm always cheering you on. I'm here still talking about expression, about life, joy, and music in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. Bye.